This plant exploded with growth in just a matter of days. Like, you might not even believe it's the same plant by the time you see it at the end of this video. I'm growing it in a DWC hydroponic system, and the speed is honestly insane. But it's not just the system, environment, lighting, nutrition all play a huge role in getting results like this. In this video, I'll show you the rapid progress this plant made, I'll break down the exact conditions that helped it thrive, and we'll share some tips that you can use to boost growth in your own setup. Alright, it is day 9 since this plant was placed into the hydroponic system, and it is looking very, very good so far. Lots of new growth happening there. There was a little hiccup here when I first put it in there, the first couple days actually. This leaf and I think one of the other leaves was yellowing a little bit. You can see there is still a little bit of yellowing there, but for the most part this has bounced back, a little bit of rust. I'm not too worried about that. Other than that, the plant looks good, it's upright, it looks happy overall. Now I have been doing the frozen water bottle hack. So I'm gonna take this one out. Twice a day I'm putting a frozen water bottle in there, once in the morning and then once in the evening. So it's the morning now and I'm gonna swap this out. Here we go, just toss this in here. Fortunately it does float over towards the roots. I haven't really had any adverse effects yet, but I would like to find a way to keep it so it's in this part, right? Maybe if I put some type of bar across or 3D print something, I'm not sure, but need to figure out a solution to keep the water bottle away from the roots. Right now it does come in contact with it. Look how much the roots have grown since the last update. It has grown so much. Although there hasn't been a ton of growth up top, there's definitely been a lot of growth below there. And yeah, I really don't like how that water bottle is so close to the roots, but hey, as of right now, the plant looks okay. I'm not gonna sweat about it, and it's only a matter of time before I figure out a solution to keep the water bottle kind of just in this area. If any of you have any advice, let me know down in the comment section below. Taking a quick look at the pH and the water temp, both are not where I like to be. 80 degrees Fahrenheit on the water temp. I just added in that frozen water bottle, so that should reduce. Usually when I check within a couple hours here, it goes down to the low 70s. About 72 degrees Fahrenheit is what it usually goes to. So we'll give that some time. A 6.3 pH, a little bit higher than I like. I usually like 5.8 pH. It was at 5.8 pH the other day. I actually didn't check pH yesterday, so I'm gonna add in a little bit of pH down to try to get it down to 5.8 pH. As for the ppm, this is a 500 scale TDS tester in about 528 ppm right now. This is a half dose of athenium nutrients, so I'm okay with that for right now. Eventually I will bump that up. Okay, I got the pH down to 5.6, and you can see the water temperature is dropping there. It's down to 78.8 degrees Fahrenheit now, so that's good to see. I'm okay with our pH is at right now. It's been kind of drifting up a little bit over the days, it seems, so it'll get up to pH 5.8 in a day or so, I'm sure. Put the cover back on here. About to go through a little bit of a challenge here. Today is Thursday and I'm about to leave for a long weekend. I'm not going to be back until Sunday afternoon, and so this system is going to be left alone for several days. Now it is generally recommended to check on DWC plants every single day. You want to check the pH, ppm, water temperature, all that stuff. I will not be able to check on any of that stuff. Nobody will be here checking on it. This is going to be left all alone. You just saw I adjusted the pH, the water temp, although the water temp is certainly going to rise back up to that 80 degree Fahrenheit, that's for sure. And it's going to be there for a handful of days. So let's hope that there's not any major adverse effects on the plant. I think I should be okay, but you never know. We'll just have to keep our fingers crossed. As far as a reservoir change, this is day 8. I was considering changing the reservoir today. However, the water level was fine, the pH was fine, the ppm was fine. Some people will change the reservoir every 7 days, some will do 10 days, some will do 14 days. When I get back, it'll be day 13. So I think I'm just going to change the reservoir once I get back on day 13. Fingers crossed for me, everybody. Next update is going to be how this plant looks on Sunday. For lighting, I'm using the Grandmaster LED Borg Evolution, and I'm using it at the manufacturer's recommendation, which is 100% cool white for the veg stage. I do have it dimmed down. I have it down to 30%. That way it's not pulling as many watts and my electricity bill isn't as high. As for the environment conditions, temperature goes up to about 82 degrees Fahrenheit during lights on. I have it set so my inline fan will actually come on when it hits 82 degrees Fahrenheit. so it'll exhaust some of that hot air and it will passively bring in cool air from my lung room. For the VPD, since we're in the veg stage, I typically aim for 0.8 to 1.2 kPa. Now in reality, it's been hitting about 0.9 to 1.0 kPa. Since I have the AC Infinity controller, their inline fan, and humidifier, it really does a good job of dialing in my environment, the temperature and humidity. So yeah, that being said, I am definitely feeling confident leaving for a few days. I think everything's gonna be okay. I'm just being real optimistic here, so we'll see what happens. Alright, here we are Monday morning. I actually just recorded a bunch of things, well, forgot to press the record button. Spoke up about this plant for about 2 or 3 minutes and forgot to hit the record button. So this is take 2. This plant looks awesome. I'm really happy with how it looks, leaving it alone for several days. It's been 4 days since I last checked in with this plant. Pretty significant change in growth. What really impresses me here is this particular leaf right here. It has 9 fingers on this leaf, massive leaf. I know some people would actually take this leaf off. They'll say, oh, airflow is compromised, so I'm gonna take this off, which I'm not debating against that, but for right now, I am going to leave that on here. At this point, the plant could probably use some sort of a topping. I wanna widen this plant quite a bit. Let's check the water level. Let's see what this is at. We'll check the pH, ppm. All right, whoa. Root zone has expanded quite a bit. Everything is looking really good there. Nice white roots. Put a frozen water bottle in there before I left. It was obviously no longer frozen. I took that out. Let's check the pH and ppm. At 6.2 pH, 81 degrees Fahrenheit, almost touching 82 degrees Fahrenheit. This is definitely too high of a water temperature. EC is jumping around a little bit, 570, 574. 574 is what it stopped at, 574 ppm. So yeah, plant had access to the nutrients, although the water temperature was high. Root zone is white. And yeah, let's get this water changed out and we'll be able to get the right pH, the right water temperature, enough nutrients in there, and we should be good to go. All right, so I moved this oscillating fan up a little bit. It was just blasting up against the side to the point where the leaves were just like this, really. So I put it up against the side. I'll probably tilt it down a little bit. So I'm gonna change the reservoir the same way I did it in the last grow series. Got a shop vac here, got a bucket here that I can put the dirty water into. Got some jugs there full of water that will be for the new batch of water. And when I showed the way I did it on the last grow series, I definitely get some criticism. I just want to make it clear, everything I show on this channel is just the way that I'm doing it. There are alternate ways to do it. This may not be the best way to do it. Somebody might say, hey, there's a better way to do it. So I'm not claiming that this is the right way to do it and all other ways are the wrong way to do it by any means. This is just the tools and equipment that I have available and how I've done it before with success. So just want to point that out. What I like to do is, well, first I'll turn off this air stone. Turn off the air pump. The air stone is no longer going. I'll push the roots away. This is where the criticism comes in. People say that I shouldn't be using this wooden stick to push the roots to the side. Then I stick the hose of the shop vac down in there and I get all the water out of here and then I add the new water in. I successfully removed the water from the DWC system. You can see it down here in this bucket. Looks to be close to 3 gallons actually, probably a little bit less than 3 gallons. The DWC system holds 3.5 gallons, so I know it's definitely less than that. Got the nutrients mixed up in 3.5 gallons of water. This is the dosage right here, so for 3.5 gallons, 19.25 milliliters Grow B, 19.25 milliliters of Grow A, 8.75 milliliters of CalMag, and 8.75 milliliters of Cleanse. Poured the nutrient solution back into the system here, and I'm ready to add this cover back on. And now the res change was successful. Day 17 since putting this clone into the DWC system. Growth has been so vigorous. This plant is really big right now for just 17 days in the system. So really happy with how it's looking so far. Massive leaves on this. And yeah, it's healthy all around. What I want to do now is I want to start shaping the plant, start widening the plant a little bit. So let's see where these branches are. I'm going to start doing some bending. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to top this plant. I'm going to top it down a little bit. I think I'm going to top it like right here. And then this is going to allow these side branches to kind of grow out, and I'll be able to widen this plant and then shape it into a nice even canopy. I have my trimmers here. These are the AC Infinity trimmers. Shout out to AC Infinity. They are a sponsor of this channel. They have a whole bunch of gardening products, tools, accessory, tents, lights, fans, even hydroponic equipment. So definitely check them out, acinfinity.com. You can use promo code MrGrow at 15. That works on both their website as well as Amazon. Thanks AC Infinity for being a sponsor. I sanitized these. What I did is 1 part bleach, 9 parts water, dipped it in there for about 20 seconds and wiped it off. And now I'm just going to go in and do this top right here. This piece will go into my compost pile. These branches right here should kind of grow up. I can start to bend these side branches and we'll try to get a good shape on this plant. The other thing I wanted to do here is I wanted to check the res. The level has dropped a little bit, which is okay. The water bottle here that was frozen is no longer frozen. So I am going to place a frozen water bottle in here for the day. We'll pop this right in here. Yes, it does come into contact with the roots. There's only so much I can do. It'll automatically float up. I've tried to kind of use this airline to try to pin it into the corner here, but it just floats up right towards the roots. So it's not great that it does that, but I'm not really seeing any downsides to the plant, so I'm not going to stress about it. But yeah, overall this plant is looking very, very good, and we'll see how it develops from here. It's been 20 days since I put the clone into the DWC system. The plant is just exploding in growth all around. Since I topped the plant, it doesn't seem like it's slowed down one bit. Now I did leave this plant alone for the weekend. One thing I noticed before I started filming was the water level is like super low right now. There must be just maybe a gallon of water in there, if that. So I went ahead and mixed up some nutrients into a 5-gallon bucket. Did 2 gallons of nutrients, half dose. I'm gonna pour that in here and we'll get back on track here. 2 more gallons added in and it filled it up pretty nicely there. I pH'd it to 5.8. That's typically what I aim for in hydroponics. And yeah, the next step for this plant would be, you can see some condensation happening here from leaves overlapping. I'm gonna get in here and defoliate this plant. We'll do a little bit more low stress training, try to widen this plant. It is growing so vigorously, but it's growing more straight up. If I can widen it, it'll help allow more branches to kind of come up and hopefully result in a better overall yield. Day 24 for the plant in the hydro bucket deep water culture system, and growth has still been explosive. Lots and lots of branches coming out, lots of foliage, really big leaves down here at the bottom, massive. It's definitely been widening out on its own without much training, but I want to get in here and at least do some bud clips. I only have about 5 minutes till the lights turn off, so I don't have enough time to really do lollipopping just yet and some defoliation, which I've been meaning to do. But at least I can get in here and get some bud clips on some of these branches, which will help kind of widen the plant a little bit. So let's do that now and then I'll show you how it looks. Well, the lights turned off before I could finish. Got it kind of flat on the top there, but definitely want to get in there and do some defoliation, some lollipopping, and that should reveal some more opportunities to bend down some of these other branches. So I'm going to come back here tomorrow and we'll continue to work on this. All right, let's get in here and start plucking off some of these leaves. Need to defoliate. It's a very thick canopy in here. Airflow is kind of lacking throughout. I already put some bud clips on there. The top of the canopy looks to be pretty flat, but I could probably widen it out some more. Let's start stripping this plant down and we'll start to uncover some things. First thing I want to do though is I'm going to come in here, dig in and start taking off some of these bud trainer clips. So as you can see, it's bent it down pretty much at a 90-degree angle. So it does a really good job at doing that. Started doing the lollipopping, cleaning up the bottoms here, just bringing everything up, and I want to show off some of the bigger leaves that we've got here. This thing is freaking massive. I think this might be the biggest one. There's another big one right here. Yeah, this one's just, I think, slightly smaller, but some really big leaves on this one. And actually, here's a third one. This one actually might be the biggest. I'm gonna pluck them all off right now and see which one's the biggest. All right, here we go. Brought a lighter out so you can see the size comparison there. All 3 of these leaves are about the same size. This one might be the biggest by a very, very small amount, but definitely some massive leaves on that DWC plant. Okay, so I cleaned up the lower section quite a bit here. You can see how the plant is shaping up. Now I'm just kind of using my hands to kind of bend things down and see if I can tuck where I can. And so I'm just gonna keep working my way around. I'm gonna give it a day to kind of recover from here. I know I could take off some more. These leaves right here are all jumbled and stuff, so I might take off 1 or 2 more. The lights will go off. I'm gonna revisit this tomorrow. This thing's gonna be a monster. This thing's shaping up really nicely. Day 34 in the DWC system, and you can see his growth has been so explosive. Even the plants here on the tray to grow. These plants look fantastic as well. I have to flip all these plants over to flowers soon, but wanted to give you a sneak peek of how this is looking on day 34. Still healthy, still big, just vigorous growth. I need to get in here and do some more training, some more defoliation. And it feels like I just did that not too long ago, but it is a continuous process. Today I have to change the reservoir. So earlier in this video I showed how I change my res. So I'm not gonna repeat myself and show this again. I'm just gonna do the switch. But what I will come in here and show you kind of how it looks in the root area. So the water level is very low at this point. So it'll be easy for me to remove the water out of here and then add in the new one. This frozen water bottle is no longer frozen. This can get out of here. But yeah, overall the roots look excellent. And yeah, it just needs some more water in here, some nutrients, and then we'll continue on. Okay, reservoir is filled up. Looks like 809 ppm on a 500 scale TDS tester. 6.39 pH, 79 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to pH adjust down to about 5.8 and then add in a frozen water bottle to try to reduce that water temp as well. We have a ways to go, so hit that subscribe button so you can be notified of the next video. Click the video on the screen right now for the harvest of the last plant I grew in this exact DWC system. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.